I need my Wi-Fi back. That was the line that made the entire courtroom pause. The judge lowered his glasses and looked down at the note again. One sentence, handwritten, underlined, a demand that somehow led to a court hearing. Before we begin, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. The judge entered. Everyone rose. A gavel hit the desk. The court was now in session. Looking at his book, the judge spoke clearly. Today, we have case number 48117, Thomas Blake versus Monique Harris. Can you guys please come to the podiums? Please. A white man in his 40s, Thomas Blake, stepped forward. On the other side, a calm black woman, Monique Harris, joined him. The judge wasted no time. He turned to Thomas. Good morning, Thomas. It says here you're suing to obtain the defendant's Wi-Fi password. Is that correct? Thomas answered, That's right. The judge, clearly surprised, looked again at the file. Please tell us what's going on with that. Thomas started to explain. Well, I've lived right across from Monique for 2 years now. The judge asked, So you live across the hall? This is an apartment or condo? Thomas replied, Condo. The judge nodded. All right, please continue. Thomas continued, I've been using her Wi-Fi just fine until recently when she put a password on it. I went over and asked her nicely on multiple occasions for the password, but she keeps refusing. The judge interrupted him. Okay, let me ask you, so you've been using her Wi-Fi for how long? For 2 years, Thomas said proudly. The judge repeated, for the past 2 years. Okay. He jotted that down. Then he asked again, did she know that you were using her Wi-Fi? Thomas said, I just thought she did because, especially at the point where I asked for the password. But the judge wasn't having it. No, no, no. What I'm asking is this. Before you asked for the password, did she even know you were on her Wi-Fi? Did you tell her you were using it? Thomas admitted, I didn't say anything, no. Have you ever had someone take from you without asking and act like it was their right? What would you do if this were you? And if you believe no one should use what does not belong to them without permission, like this video and subscribe for more powerful real-life stories. The judge asked again, you never said anything. Okay, let me ask you this. How did you know that it was her password, Wi-Fi, that you were using? Thomas replied, Sir, the name of the network was Harris Wi-Fi, so you know. The judge leaned back slightly, still looking at Thomas. So you saw Harris Wi-Fi and assumed it was hers. Got it. Then he turned his attention to Monique. Ma'am, were you aware that he had been accessing your Wi-Fi? Monique replied without hesitation. No, Your Honor, I became aware that someone was using my Wi-Fi when the bills suddenly began to skyrocket. The judge nodded and followed up. Okay, when he approached you requesting the Wi-Fi password, how did you respond? Monique answered calmly. I respectfully declined and explained that I could no longer afford to share it. My bill used to be $100, then jumped to $150. That's too much. I couldn't keep covering it. The judge looked back at Thomas. Mr. Thomas, did the defendant inform you about the rising cost of her Wi-Fi service? Thomas admitted, yes. The judge continued, in that case, did you make any attempt to contribute, either partially or fully, toward the cost, considering you were using it? Thomas didn't flinch. Well, as far as I'm concerned, she plays her music so loud I hear it in my place. Honestly, I think putting up with that counts as paying her back. The judge paused. I understand, sir. But when Miss Monique informed you of her internet bill, did you respond by offering to cover the cost or contribute toward it? Given you were using the service, please answer yes or no. No, Thomas said. What would you do if someone used your services, refused to pay, and then tried to justify it with noise complaints? Fair or foul? Let us know in the comments. The judge leaned in slightly. Why not? Thomas tried to explain. Well, I just figured, if I have to hear music, and it drifts across the hall, it's kind of like the radio, the signal, it's the airwaves belong to the people. The judge raised an eyebrow. So you're claiming that because airwaves are public, you're entitled to access the private Wi-Fi signal originating from her residence? Then the judge pressed further. Are you aware that for her music to play, she must use electricity to power whatever device she's using? Yes, Thomas said. Are you aware of the fact that it's probably that same electricity that's being used to put her Wi-Fi system into the waves, as you put it? Yes, Your Honor. Are you paying for the electricity inside of her home? No. So how are you entitled to anything that's coming from her residence if you're not paying for anything? I'm confused on that. Thomas replied, well, the radio signal from the router comes across the hallway. It's already there. But the judge didn't hold back. You don't pay for her electricity, yet you think it's okay to benefit from what she's using it for. That's not right. Thomas tried to clarify, well, I don't benefit from the music, but that's another story. The judge turned to Monique. Let me clarify, ma'am. When he came to your door requesting access, would you describe his approach as a demand? Monique answered, yes, Your Honor. I informed him clearly that I could not share the Wi-Fi passcode unless he was willing to contribute to the cost, which I considered a fair and reasonable boundary. Then she added, and then he started to harass me about it. The judge looked up. What do you mean by harass? How is he harassing you? Monique replied, he knocks on my door at all hours of the day and night, and he leaves notes. I brought some notes that he has left for me. The judge turned to the court officer. Fred, can you get those notes for me? I want to see. Fred walked over and retrieved the notes from Monique. She continued, he leaves them on my door. The judge asked, he leaves them on your door? Monique confirmed, Your Honor. The judge then faced Thomas. He held up the first note. Mr. Blake, tell me if this sounds familiar. He read aloud, I want the Wi-Fi password, young lady. The judge turned his head. Did you write that? Thomas mumbled something under his breath. No one heard him clearly. Then the judge picked up another note and read, Monique, I have an important project for work due tomorrow. My job rests on this project. I need my Wi-Fi back. Thanks, Thomas. The judge paused and repeated it, eyes narrowing. My Wi-Fi? Thomas tried to say yes, but the judge cut him off immediately. The same Wi-Fi that she's paying for? The same Wi-Fi that's powered and paid for by her electricity. He didn't wait for a reply. Now you're saying mine, like you own it. Have you ever dealt with someone who tried to claim ownership of something they never paid for? What would you call that? And if you believe no one is entitled to what they didn't earn, like this video and subscribe for more powerful real-life stories. The judge didn't give Thomas a chance to respond. His tone sharpened. No, Mr. Blake, that's not how things work. I'm assuming you're employed based on the information you provided in these notes. Can you confirm that you have a job? Thomas said, yes, Your Honor. The judge followed up. You make good money, right? And from the looks of it, that condo you guys live in is a very nice place. Monique added quickly, it's a beautiful condo, and I'm happy to call it home. The judge turned back to Thomas. So, you're able to pay your condo mortgage without issue? Thomas replied, yes, Your Honor. The judge leaned forward slightly. Then what's preventing you from securing your own Wi-Fi service instead of relying on hers without consent? He paused, then added, you're fully capable of obtaining your own service, correct? Thomas said, that's correct. The judge stared at him for a second longer. So why? Then he turned to Monique again. Did you say he was knocking on your door? Something like that? Monique nodded immediately. Yes, Your Honor, from 7 at night to 2 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. The judge's head lifted. 2 in the morning? Thomas confirmed. Yes. The judge blinked in disbelief. 2 in the morning? Is that true, Mr. Blake? Thomas admitted, that's true. The judge looked at him squarely. Help me understand why you felt it was acceptable to knock on her door at 2 in the morning without a valid emergency. If there's an emergency, call Greenfield Police Department. Then the judge asked, the music. Did you call the Greenfield Police Department about that? Thomas answered, no, Your Honor. The judge followed up. So did you call the condo board about the noise? Yeah, Thomas replied. They said it's not their problem. Have you ever had someone cross your boundaries over and over, and when confronted, they act like you're the problem? How would you handle that? The judge looked back down at his notes. Okay, this is what I'm going to recommend. Then he looked back up and spoke firmly. First off, let me start by saying your request to access her Wi-Fi is denied. If you need internet access, I recommend setting up your own service at your expense. He continued, contact your service provider and arrange for a full setup, phone, internet, and television, if necessary. It's your responsibility to establish your own utilities. Then the judge turned more serious. Additionally, I am granting the plaintiff a temporary restraining order against you. This prohibits any contact, including leaving notes or knocking on her door, regardless of the time, morning, afternoon, or night. He locked eyes with Thomas. If she reports any violation, I will direct the Greenfield Police Department to bring you back to this courtroom, and we will revisit this matter. Do I make myself clear? Thomas said, "Yes, Your Honor." The judge nodded. "Good, your case is dismissed." He closed his book and brought the gavel down. If you believe boundaries deserve to be respected, especially in your own home, like this video and subscribe for more powerful real-life stories.